Welcome, Cardano community. Today, we invite you to join us on an extraordinary journey. I'm thrilled to introduce you to SoundRig and Project SIMBA, where the beat unites to create something truly remarkable. In the world of music, artists face numerous challenges. Limited resources, profit-driven models, outdated tech, and a concentration of power are stifling creativity. It's time to break free from the status quo. Enter SoundRig and Project SIMBA. We envision a globally accessible platform, a dynamic social impact through SIMBA, an ethical business model, and blockchain-powered opportunities. Together, we're bringing positive disruption to the music industry. Introducing our game changer, the Cryptid Player. It's not just a multimedia player, it's a shield against piracy, the first on the Cardano blockchain. This embeddable player adds value to creators' content, ensuring they get what they deserve. Dive into SoundRig Tunes, your passport to exclusive artist-curated experiences. From unreleased tracks and interviews to behind-the-scenes footage, it's a gateway to a world of music like never before. But we are not just about music. We're about impact. Project SIMBA is our commitment to social change. By forming strategic alliances, we amplify our reach and empower emerging talent globally. Our inaugural initiative, Kakuma Studios, is already making waves. We're providing young, talented artists in Kakuma refugee camp with the tools and education they need to share their stories and connect with the world. Join us in making this vision a reality. We're flipping the script on the outdated business model. Artists take up to 80% of the revenue, ensuring they receive fair compensation. As SoundRig evolves, so does our ecosystem, creating more revenue streams. Our journey is well underway. From the MVP to Kakuma Studios, we've achieved significant milestones. But this is just the beginning. Your support will propel us towards the launchpad for new artists. Meet the incredible minds behind SoundRig and Project SIMBA. Our diverse and talented executive team is passionate about reshaping the music industry and driving social impact. Now, Cardano community, we invite you to join our mission. Your votes can complete our ecosystem, ensuring global access to Web3 opportunities and finishing Kakuma Studios. Visit our proposals, read and cast your votes. Together, we can make history. Thank you for being part of the SoundRig and Project SIMBA journey.
I hope that gave a good overview, but questions, please.
Oh, Jan, you're muted.
Dan, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yoram, you have a question?
Yeah, I saw you have one proposal in the product section. So what you already, which normally you have to have a product already and build already on the blockchain. So what you already build on the blockchain? That's first question. And second, you have player, tune, studios. It's a lot of kind of products. What's your most important focus on them?
Well, we are a for-profit social enterprise, right? So one thing that's very apparent in the world is that most of the people who want to become artists, music artists, even have the opportunity to get their music out there, they don't have the means to do so. So the Kakuma project is our flagship, is our test case to prove that if you give them the tools and the education and the knowledge on not only how to make the music, but then also leverage Web3 technology to be able to get it out there in Web2 and Web3, they will do so. And they'll do a fantastic job at it. And so we're trying to prove that with this one. If we can do it in the harshest place in the world, which is a refugee camp in Africa, we can do it anywhere in the world. In terms of why is it a product? Well, we've actually been live since August 2022. We've launched 12 artists, 8 of whom were never even in Web3. So they're brand new artists that we onboarded and help them make revenue. So there were 3 objectives for the MVP. One was, does the tech work? Well, the crypto player does work. We encrypt the data so that it's it's the same analogy as what I give for everyone. It's like we did for music what DVDs did for movies. So when you got a movie, you could watch the film and you could watch that film anywhere. But if you were a true fan of that director or the actors or whatever, you could only see the exclusive content, like the behind the scenes, the deleted seeing the bloopers, the director's cut, etc. So we're allowing artists to create something unique that only their fans, the people who support them, will be able to watch. And you can't get that anywhere. You can't watch anywhere else apart from if you've supported them. And that was one objective. So the tech works. The other one was to onboard new artists who are not on Web3. We've done that. And the third objective was that does the concept make sense and do people get it? And they do. So I hope that answers your questions. Thank you.
Sierra.
Hi, Sunny. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Great presentation. Thank you so much. Really love your focus on social impact. And so quick question. So you are focusing first on Kakuma refugee camp, right? Do you have any plans to expand beyond the refugee
Yes.
camp? And like, if so, like, what's your plan?
Well, like I said, we need to prove that the model works. The model is called a self-sustaining model, right? And the idea is that these studios will be free for life. And then for the people to use them and for them to be free to run themselves, we need to be able to fund them. So we want to have community staking pools, and also 10% of the revenue will go into that. Once we perfected this and we know it works, we've got Gambia waiting, we've got South Sudan, we've got Uganda, we've got Ghana, we've got, I mean, this is building and building. The amount of countries that, and especially in Africa, because they see the opportunity and they're not getting any of it, and they're being left behind. So because they see that, they want to be involved, and we've got people waiting, and a lot of them are coming through the Cardano ambassadors, actually. So the ambassadors are saying to us, we would love this here, bring it. And I was like, well, as soon as we can build the studio in Kakuma and show how the whole thing can work, then we can do that. And also, it's not just Africa, right? It's every underserved, underprivileged community in the world, Southeast Asia, Latin America, all of them are going to need these opportunities. And we can do that once we've proven that it can be done in Kakuma. I hope that answers your question.
Roberto, you have your hand up.
Hey, Sunny.
Hello.
Great project. Really like
you.
it. I love that you're changing sort of the profit model, and most of the revenue goes to the artists. But one question I have is, normally the justification for the revenue model, the current revenue model, is that the studio does a lot of promoting. They get the artist out there, they get them in radio, they get them interviews, they do all the promotion, and that's what gets a lot of the streamings and just pretty much the getting the artist out there. So with this new revenue model, how do you plan to get these artists known and in different channels?
I'm glad you asked that question. So we're going with the partnerships, right? For example, we've got a partnership with Gods of Africa. It's actually a Binance chain project, but they don't have a music outlet. So we offered them, we're like, well, okay, your artists that are going to be coming through your radio is the stream to earn radio app that they're promoting world music, but focus on African artists. So we've got now a space every Saturday called African Music and Beyond, where we're bringing on artists that we're launching and they're launching as well, to give them a voice, share their stories, share their experiences. And the idea is to have one African artist and then match them with an international artist, and they both get to speak, we share their music, etc. Also, we've got a podcast which is called Sound of the Future podcast. Again, is the visual version of the spaces. But here we will be like talking to them on video link. Obviously, I can't be everywhere, so I'm always going to be on video. But we have teamed up with a studio in Rwanda, and they have what they call a media hub. So they've got studios built in there, and they're like, I don't know if you've seen Tiny Desk, but it's yeah. So we're going to do the Tiny Disc but in our vision, right? So it's going to be, again, one African artist and someone invited from around the world to come and speak with them. And we're always telling the artists, it's a 50-50 thing. Like, you're an independent artist, you're not signed to anyone. We want to show them their true value. So we're like, you do the marketing and we'll do the marketing with you, and we'll do as much as it can. But the idea is that if SoundRig becomes a melting pot of talent from around the world, all people who come to SoundRig will be able to discover these new artists, and it could be fans of another artist discovering someone new, and vice versa. And also with the player, partly why we need the funding is because we're on MVP. We're stuck there. I can't take it any further than it can go. But the idea is for it to become a global platform, for the player to become multi-chain but free for life. So the idea is that anyone, if it can connect to MetaMask and other wallets, then those people who own NFTs, doesn't matter what chain they're on, they'll come to SoundRig to just play their music and enjoy it on the app and also desktop. And then what they'll do, they'll discover artists that we're launching on Cardano. So we're basically trying to unify the whole music space, because music is in silos at the moment, and you can't contain music. It's universal, right? So that's the idea.
Awesome. Thanks, Sunny.
Just one thing, your passion is amazing. I mean, you're so dedicated, so I'm sure you will make it happen. So keep going.
And that is the hope. Like I said, I've taken it as far as I can. I'm done. I really need the community help, but I also firmly believe that the community, the blockchain, and there's no one else doing it apart from us, so we don't have any competition anyway, right? Cardano is the only one that's focusing on developing nations on a infrastructure level. So we don't have any competition there. But if we don't start doing these projects in the real world, then somebody else will catch up to that. And so my thinking is, if we go into these communities and say, look, this is from the Cardano community, not from SoundRig, this is Project SIMBA. And SIMBA stands for Social Impact Through Business Alliances. It's not just the name of the cartoon from Lion King, right? I mean, when I was trying to think of an acronym, I was like, oh, SIMBA, that's really cool. I was like, but that's the cartoon. And when I searched it, it actually meant strength. And what I believe that to be is strength in unity. So if we come together and we go to Kakuma refugee camp and say, this is from the Cardano community, this is for you guys, who are they going to remember when they leave, right? So if we do that and repeat that everywhere else, it stands to reason that those who we onboard will be in Cardano. They'll be free to go elsewhere, but they won't want to.
As much as I love you, as much as I love your presentation, we're already
Yeah, I know.
over.
I didn't mean to do that. It was just another